Hello, valued viewers. I hope you're all doing well. Today we'll look at a game called Deliver at All Cost. I'll be reviewing the game and we'll be starting out with the official description of the game. Let's read the words of the developer. The year is 1959, a time of rock and roll and yada yada, dread of nuclear annihilation. Step into the shoes of Winston Green, blah 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 blah, with a fiery temper and a mysterious past, as he delivers highly unconventional cargo, leaving a trail of havoc and chaos behind him, ensuring he does what it takes to deliver at all cost. So here now in the game, you can see I've opened the settings page. You got your controls, game, graphic, audio settings. There are a few settings you can tweak and change, but it is held pretty minimal. You can change, of course, the controls if you're playing on the keyboard. And yeah, that's basically it from the settings side. Now onto the story and game progression. The narrative begins with Winston, your main character, the character you're playing, by taking a job at the We Deliver Courier service, which is basically led by some optimistic CEO and some, I don't know, some other guy. I think it was his son. Yeah, this guy, he's quite a hater. He wouldn't even give us a job. But thanks to Harold here, we got a job and then we basically do deliveries ranging from transporting a giant marlin, which was a pain in the ass, let me say that, um, to disposing of bombs. The story unfolds through three acts, revealing a mysterious past of our main character and descending into chaos. Regarding game mechanics and gameplay involves navigating a what so semi-open world environment both on foot and various vehicles to complete delivery missions. The game emphasizes on physics-driven destruction. The player often causes havoc. They maneuver through obstacles. Basically, you can drive through houses and run over people if you like. Um, there are side missions and hidden vehicles and optional upgrades known as gadgets that add depth to the experience, like installing a crane on your very small car. Also, let's talk visuals and sound. The game plays in the 1950s, therefore featuring design elements and an original soundtrack, radio ads, and the UI especially captures the essence of that area. The visual utilize a shallow depth of field, giving the city a like miniature like experience. Thanks to the top-down perspective, it feels like you're playing in a more or less miniature world, and lighting adapts to the changing of time of day, which is great. Issues and repetition. While the game offers an initial excitement with its absurd and destructible environments, I found that some of the gameplay gets a bit of repetitive over the time. Of course, there's always new delivery missions, and those delivery missions set apart from each other quite much, as you can be delivering a Merlin as said, or a fucking bomb that will explode in less than a minute, it feels like. Yes, but that doesn't change the premise of the game. In the end, you still deliver. It is like playing the Euro Truck Simulator. I'm not that guy, unfortunately, that can drive around doing the same task over and over again. Although the gadgets and upgrades really help to make the game more fun and unpredictable, it just feels like it gets repetitive over time. With an orderly cyclic format and a dragging story. Additionally, some missions may feel underwhelming and the open world can be lacking in engaging content, as there is in the end just a limited amount of stuff you can do. Of course, you can crash into others' houses and destroy their cars. Of course, you can run over people, although that is not your main objective. You can do that. Of course, you can drive into most everything this world has to offer, and it is destructible. But in the end, it still feels repetitive. After it was, I believe, 2 hours of gameplay, I somehow felt um, more or less the game is just repeating itself. Of course, you got your limited open world where you transit into rather smaller areas of that open world via tunnels. So there's like a loading screen between them. So it's semi-open world. But yeah, deliver at all costs, of course, delivers a unique blend of chaotic gameplay and a more or less mysterious narrative set against the richly stylized 1950s backdrop. While it may suffer from repetitive elements and a few underwhelming missions and limited open world experience, it although offers a distinctive experience for players seeking something out of the ordinary. Yeah, especially if you like trucking simulator and you want to dive into the 1950s, this game is definitely for you. Unfortunately, this game wasn't it for me as I'm a more or less fast-paced player, but the game, of course, has its style and it definitely looks really good. Here you can see basically I've installed that crane module. I can now pick up that giant ass fish and then load it onto my very much giant transporter that is definitely not too small for this task. Basically, this fish gets mad over time if you don't feed it, and if it's mad, you're cooked, as the fish then gets furious and will then catapult you off a cliff, which happened to me more than once. You can trust me on that call. I have cutted it out so that you do not see me fail. As always, you see, he's getting angry, and now he tries to kill you by smashing its tail into some wall. But this mission was generous. I've been transporting watermelons for the most of my gameplay time, as those 40 watermelons and those incredible physics the game offers really made it quite hard to keep the watermelons on your car. I have lost watermelons so often I can't remember how many times it reloaded the save, which is great. If you fail the mission, it automatically puts you back at some checkpoint the game selected, which is great. And it's not like giving you a death screen notifying you that you have successfully failed the mission and you may now choose to reload or quit the game. If I fucking wanted to quit the game, I would have pressed Alt F4, not gonna lie. This game really understands gamers, which is a great thing that it just automatically reloads the game. As else, I would have needed to wait 20 seconds to then go to the dev screen and then press reload save and to then wait another 10 seconds. So, yeah, I'd say that is a great thing of the game. So now, transporting that Merlin, he's now painted in some white color, don't ask me what that color is. And now we're transporting him to some old guy uh, that ordered that Merlin, I don't know. Of course, this Merlin is colored and he's going to be impressed about that unique Pokemon that we have just catched. The things I am hitting on purpose, these barrels are basically food for the Merlin, which will help him to calm down for just 2 seconds until he will be angry again and start ruining our whole operation. As you can see, there is a loading screen between entering these areas, which is quite a shame if you ask me. It really takes out a bit of the immersion. I think the game should have made it a fully drivable open world without these loading screens in between. Of course, you have this guy yapping about his Merlin and he wants a safe delivery, but you can see I am a professional driver and last time I fell off the cliff. But now I have mastered driving a Merlin on my back to this guy, and we are basically now arriving at our final destination. Let's see. Yeah, of course, I fucking pass it because I thought it was behind. My bad. But I've fed the Merlin so the Merlin won't get angry in the cutscene. You never know with these games. Also, what I found out is the game is right now free to grab on the Epic Game Store and free to keep, which is amazing. So it is basically no risk involved. Just get the game via the Epic Game Store and you'll have it forever. I think it is the 28th, 5th, 2025. Um, and I'll be basically uploading the video today. So for right now, the game's free and the sale ends on the 29th, 5th, 2025. So if you've catched this video in time or watched this video in time, you'll still be able to get the game for free on the Epic Game Store. And yeah, that's basically it. I'll show you my final verdict right now. I'll make a quick list of the good and the bad, so you can decide whether it's worth your time and your disk space. So, take care, have a good one, and bye.
goes, Winston. Aim for the stars, and perhaps, just perhaps, one day you might be fortunate enough to step into these shoes of mine. Just imagine the privilege of taking over my role with all its crucial responsibilities.